coming to you live from the studios in Los Santos. Here is your host, Rob French. Well, it's Rob's Arcade, where the games get played. The games get saved, so they get played on another day. Here in Rob's Arcade. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Rob's Arcade. Thanks for hanging out with me. Um, Doing something a little bit different. Usually I come to you guys on Wednesday with my little GTA kind of like talk show here that I like to do. Um, for like a midweek breakdown. Now we're still going to do a midweek breakdown this week, but that's going to be done with a different format. And I thought I would kind of come to you guys with like more of like a Monday morning show, just kind of catch up with you guys, see how your weekend was. And that was kind of, I think, the original idea going into this was kind of talking about your weekend, kind of vibing with you guys, seeing what you've been up to, let you know what I've been up to. And it didn't really seem fitting to do that on a Wednesday. You know, you're kind of in the middle of the week, and it's like, you might not be sure what you got going on the weekend coming up, and the weekend before might be a little hazy. You know, there's been a few days in between there. We might have lost some of the details and some of the fun times that you had. So yeah, going into this, we're going to start doing, I think, a Monday kind of morning show, which I also want to do a topic. I figured each Monday, kind of do like a different topic at some point, and just kind of sit down, which I do have one with you guys. Another reason why I wanted to do this on a Monday instead of waiting till Wednesday. The sooner to get this out, I think, the better. But yeah, it is Monday, so hopefully you guys are all having a great Monday so far. It's really nice outside. The pollen is kicking everybody's butt. This was actually a white t-shirt. Just went to the grocery store real quick to get some stuff for breakfast, and now it is a yellow t-shirt. Um, but yeah, the weekend was really good. Had to work Saturday night. Um, it's I think I've mentioned before, as the weather gets nicer, as we start getting into the days getting longer, um, people are coming out more, so we're definitely getting a lot more business. But it kills me. It blows my mind that we get these pops for dinner at like 8 o'clock at night, 8:30 at night, 9 o'clock at night. Like, so I understand that as time changes, people's you know time to go out and eat dinner can sometimes change, especially in the wintertime. It gets dark like around 6 o'clock, especially with the older crowd. I would especially think like some of the retired um, individuals who want to get an early dinner and get home before it gets too dark. That makes a lot of sense. Even if you have like let's say kids and stuff like that during school, you want to get an early dinner, get home as soon as possible, get the kids to bed, get their homework out the way, get a movie in. You don't want to be going out at 8 o'clock at night. But somehow that changes in the summertime, and it becomes a 9 o'clock, uh, 9:30, and I'm just wondering, like, how does that factor in? So you go from eating dinner at like 5:30, 6:30 in the wintertime. It's all of a sudden now 9 o'clock. And I get it, sometimes people are just out, they're doing stuff, you know. They don't have time to get home. Speaking of dinner, I should maybe make something. No, I'll make something later. Um, you know, they don't have time to get home and make dinner, so they want to grab something. But I mean, I'm talking like most of these people coming out, like they're dressed to come out. They're dressed to hang out. They're dressed like they're just going out to eat at like 9 o'clock at night. And I just don't get like what are you doing between 6 and 8:30? Are you not hungry? Is it just a thing like we have to eat before the sun goes down? It doesn't matter what time it is. It doesn't matter if it's 6:30. It doesn't matter if it's 5:30. As long as we're eating before the sun goes down, that is what is important. Kills me. But yeah, we've been picking up. Business has gotten, definitely more steady, especially on the inside for the weekends. And even the weekdays have picked up a little bit. I mean, gosh, like last Monday was insane. I got to work tonight, so we'll see what happens. think we're getting at that point too. We need like a couple of servers. We've been doing it just one person serving during the week and a couple of people on the weekends. But I think we're getting to that point now. We might need a couple of servers. So if you guys need a job, come hit me up. You know what I mean? Um, Yesterday was really fun. Our friend Buck and I had made plans to hang out and do kind of like a side by side, kind of like couch. Um, can you sit in any of these chairs? That'd be kind of cool. No. We plan to do like a side by side. No, you can't sit in any of these chairs either. Kind of game sesh. And my mother also came over and hung out with us for a while yesterday. I guess you can't sit in that one unless you're getting a lap dance. And that was a lot of fun. Excuse me 1 second here. There we go. It was actually a full house. My mom was over, which she hadn't been over in a while, so that was nice. Her kind of, oh no, 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 I'm trying to sit down on the couch. This is not good. This is going to be so bad. I'm not going to remember the rest of my show. But my mom had, made plans to come over. Buck and I made some plans to do like a side by side, like couch session, and play some video games. And we were also watching my mother-in-law's dog. She was out looking at her new house this weekend in South Jersey, so we had her dog. So it's kind of a full house this weekend. Buck and I never got any like side-by-side video game time in. I think he watched me spin the wheel in the casino real quick, and then we jumped into some board games, played some Seen It. That was a lot of fun. My wife won a round, and then I think my mom won the other one, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, maybe it was Buck. I think Buck won. Yeah, Buck won a round, and then Carrie Ann won a game. So that was a lot of fun. And just kind of hung out yesterday. I had snacks, drinking Trulies, and some White Claws. Just like crushed 2 boxes of those guys. But yeah, it was a really good weekend. I think everybody will agree, probably not long enough. It's crazy as we get into these longer days, the weekends just seem to get shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. But yeah, hopefully you guys had a good weekend. Let me know what you guys were up to. Sad, like I said, we didn't get any video game time in this weekend, Buck, but maybe, we can get some time in this week. We tried so hard last week to get some time in like every evening. But gosh, man, being an adult can just suck sometimes. It's like you get like, yeah, we'll play some Mortal Kombat when we get home. And then we get home at like 8 o'clock at night. We eat, we take a shower, and next thing you know, man, we're ready like what? Just put a movie on and pass out halfway into the opening credits. I used to make fun of my dad for that. Like he would watch a movie and it would take him like 6 times to watch one movie because he kept falling asleep. I'm like, why does that? Just watch the movie, dude. But it can happen like that. That's how it would be sometimes, but I don't know. Maybe we'll get some time in this week. Seems like a lot of times the only time I get video game time in is when I'm coming to you guys through, through this little vessel here. Now, I wanted to talk to you guys, like I said, each Monday and kind of have like a little topic and kind of open up, some discussion about some stuff. And it's actually like a perfect kind of topic for Monday, especially with some of the static we've had over the weekend concerning, once again, police officers not realizing that, their actions are being recorded everywhere. Even when they have like cameras on them, it's like, do you not realize you're being recorded right now? But anyway, what I want to talk today about is with you guys is simple truths. Just the idea of simple truths, because I feel like there are just basic simple truths in the world, and until you accept those and understand those simple little truths, the bigger picture is just not going to be obtainable to you guys. And what I mean by that is just over the weekend and throughout the week last week while, I'm a server in a restaurant. And while just like overhearing conversations and just like, general like people from all walks of life, all ages, all, sexes, races, all different age groups, hearing their conversations, it just really amazes me sometimes that like some of the simple truths just seem to miss the target. So I took note over the last week and just kind of was like paying attention to exactly what people were saying, and It just really blew my mind. So I think by like Friday, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I gotta get some of this out because this is just ridiculous. And I think Friday especially was like a couple of conversations, and I'll give you a couple examples where I think the main one that really triggered this was I've had four guys coming into the restaurant now for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, and it's always the same group. It's three white guys and a black guy that work in a auto, um, like a mechanics repair shop type deal, and they always come in for lunch and basically get the same thing all the time. Um, they work together, they eat lunch together. I don't know if they hang outside of work together. I don't really imagine they would. But I was really blown away at the lack of understanding um, for the young black gentleman when he was discussing how he got pulled over earlier in the week. Now, he was coming home from work and he got pulled over. The cops, got him out of the car, searched the entire car. He had just gone to Wendy's and they went through his food, I guess, and were searching probably his to-go bag and whatever else. And at the end of the day, by the time he got home, I'm sure his food was cold and just kind of like wasted his time. And his friends were kind of like shocked too, like, well, why would they get you out the car and search you? Like, they don't have probable cause. And they were just kind of like really blown away by how the whole thing went down. And I was really surprised that like they were so, I guess, shocked by it. I mean, I'm not trying to be insensitive or like saying this is acceptable. But I mean, come on, let's face it. The only probable cause that the police needed to get this guy out of the car was the fact that he was black, and uh, his friends were just like, well, you can't do that. It was almost like your mom can't tell you what to do. Your mom can't come in your room, and it's kind of like there was just like this. There's no understanding. Like this guy doesn't really have that option. Like you and I probably get pulled over and we don't have that issue, but they were just kind of blown away by it. And it's like, if you guys don't understand that simple little idea that this guy's not going to get the same treatment when he gets pulled over by the police, then the bigger picture is just not going to land on you at all. And you start getting into things like police brutality and bigger issues, and they're just not going to it's not going to resonate. This guy's going to have a hard time, you know, um, doing everything, going to the store, going to a bank, going anywhere, especially now that we have to wear masks. I think he's just always going to be looked at a little bit differently than, say, his white friends who also have to wear masks when they go into the bank or um, whatever. But I was just kind of blown away by that, and that kind of got my mind, you know, focused on a few other, like I said, conversations that I'd overheard throughout the week. And then, but this past weekend there was this in the news. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can't find this guy's name real quick because it was um, just a video right here. So um, here in Virginia, um, there was an officer. Let me see, they're not really showing. I had his name here earlier, but I'm not seeing his name now. But was it here in Windsor, Virginia? Was the treatment of this black lieutenant by the police? But here we go. Army Lieutenant Caron Nazario was like, I think, like pepper sprayed and pulled out of his car by two police officers. And here we are, like a lieutenant in the military. This isn't like some 26-year-old known drug dealer or even somebody who they suspect might have been involved in a robbery or something. This is a lieutenant in the army. I think there's some talk that he wasn't compliant. I don't really believe that. I don't think somebody who makes it into the military to a lieutenant doesn't get there by not being able to take simple orders and be compliant. So I don't buy into any of that. I think that the story was he was just pulling over in a well-lit area, so he pulled over into a gas station, and the fact that he didn't pull over right away was what instigated the whole thing. But just having some conversations with people in the comments about it, again, just don't seem to really quite grasp the whole idea. There was one gentleman who I kind of had a little bit of a back and forth with because he was saying that, being in the military doesn't give you an exemption from being pulled over. And yeah, that's absolutely true. Um, and he said that, he's been pulled over and he's gotten a couple of tickets, and that's not um, uncommon. But what's uncommon is the way that this guy was treated. And, you know, that's the whole point is this white officer um, in the military has been pulled over and just gotten tickets. And here we have a lieutenant who was treated completely different. And, it just comes down to the simple fact of his skin color. And, I had to kind of explain some of this to this gentleman who's also in the military yesterday. And it was just kind of surprising. Like, this guy's in the military, he's supposed to understand, how this works. And at the end of it, he did agree that it wasn't handled correctly, like the police officers were out of line. But just like the simple, like the sensitivity of the matter didn't really seem to resonate. And the simple truth of it didn't really seem to catch this guy. And again, you can't grasp the whole picture if like just the simple idea of like this is just not right doesn't catch you right away. Like, regardless of this guy's skin color, he's a lieutenant in the military. Like, he outranks these guys in every state. If there was ever a crisis, he would be in charge before these police would be in charge, especially once, shit hit the fan and a situation like the movie Outbreak hits your hometown. Like, these guys would have to answer to him. And so the fact they treated him like this was just completely unreal and just uncalled for. But again, like just in the simple comments, like, these are people, you have to explain these to grown adults. You have to like kind of explain these situations to, and it's just absolutely mind blowing. I couldn't even watch the whole video. It was just so disturbing, so heartbreaking to watch. But also, dealing, again with like the coronavirus and some of the stuff we still have going on, and I've had a conversation with some customers the other day, and as they were leaving, they were like, it's great what you guys are doing, how we have the spacing of the tables, and, we put paper down to keep each table fresh. We wipe down, sanitize each table, and then put down fresh paper every time to keep everything nice and fresh for each customer. And they're like, we hope you do this even once, the coronavirus is over. It's really nice. And I thanked them and said, oh, yeah, of course, we plan to. But in the back of my head, I'm screaming like, once the coronavirus is over. Are you kidding me right now? Like, the coronavirus isn't going anywhere. It's not like the coronavirus is just going to walk out the door one day and leave. Has any disease ever just left? We still deal with the common cold, the flu, like all of these things. Like, there's no just like, there it goes, bye. Now we can do whatever we want. No, it's going to be here for a while. And just the idea that she couldn't grasp that, that, oh yeah, we're going to be stuck with this possibly forever, just blows my mind. And then if you can't get around, that idea and say, okay, well, we're going to be dealing with this for a while, this is just how life is, blah, 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 then things like social distancing, wearing a mask, and just like, each establishment has their own rules for how, you do things. And, you go to Disney, there's a certain way they do things. You go to Busch Gardens, there's a way they do things. You go to CVS, there's a way they do things. Each grocery store has a way restaurant, everything is set up differently. And, if you can't understand that, like, hey, the coronavirus probably isn't going anywhere, well, then none of these other ideas, like I said, wearing a mask, social distancing, waiting outside. Like, we constantly try to get customers to wait outside for us, I just said you can't come in to pick up a to-go. But, we'd much rather you guys, wait outside just so that the front end's not completely, congested. We have like 8 people inside trying to pick up to-goes and people trying to come in and sit down. And just like that idea is just like lost on people. And that's, I think it's just because they think the same idea that, like, well, one day this son of a beach, one day this coronavirus thing will be gone and we won't have to deal with it anymore. We'll just kind of go back to the way things are. So, I don't really have to get used to these new protocols and these new ideas. And it's not really how that really works. And oh, sorry guys. I think really injured 2 people, and I didn't even hit that jump.
Don't say.
Well, if they had been not standing so close together, I might not have hit them. You know what I mean? See, that's what I'm talking about, people. It's not just about it's not just about protecting yourself from uh, disease and colds and flu and stuff like that, but also protecting yourself from people trying to do awesome jumps. That should count for something. Oh, right now though. The policia. But yeah, it's, you know, I don't know if there's any simple truths that you guys have yourself that you guys have noticed out there. You know, well, I'm out here driving. Here's a simple truth. You know, apparently a lot of cars just don't come with turn signals anymore. It's just amazing. You know, my sister has always been one to, this is going to go way off to the side here. My sister's always been one to say, like, you know, we need to get rid of, you know, racism. And, you know, she's always, you know, she'll protest for ending racism. And, you know, I agree with her, like, racism needs to not be around, but I don't think it's, you know, going anywhere. And it's sad. It's a really sad truth, but I think it's a very simple truth that it's just always going to be around, and that's because of the simple truth that people just can't be nice to each other on the simplest terms, regardless of like what race you are or sex or, you know, whatever. You know, like I said, I mentioned driving. You know, people can't even use their turn signals. It's amazing to me, just a common courtesy of using a turn signal is too hard, and it's, you know, on the device you use to turn with. It's not like you know, have like a turn signal behind the back seat or the passenger seat there. You know, it's on the actual device that you turn with. So like if you just like stuck your index finger out while you were turning, you would probably hit the turn signal just by accident, but people still have a hard time using it, you know, holding the door open for people, stuff like that. And it's like, until we can do that for each other, you know, we're not going to accept people for who they are, you know. It's just not gonna happen. And that's a sad but, you know, simple truth as well. And like I said, you know, and you know, maybe once some of these simpler truths are understood, then some of these bigger issues can get out of the way. But you know, I just don't really see that happening anytime soon. So again, if you guys have any, oh man, so close, have any simple truths that, you know, you guys can think about, I'd love to hear about them in the comments section. Let me know. I'm sure I'll come across some more. I can't wait to hear some more conversations. I think that's one of my favorite things about working in the restaurant. You know, I work with some great people. The owners, it's a great Italian family. You know, they really look out for everybody. You know, they treat me like family as well. But I think it's, you know, just some of the conversations I get to hear and listen in on while, you know, bringing drinks over or bringing food over, or as I come over to get the, you know, the food order. And you know,
Listen, this is
sometimes I've got something to say, sometimes I got some input, but sometimes I'm just really blown away by, you know, by what I hear. It's so beautiful at night. This is, I don't think I've ever been down here. Wow. Alright guys, well, another simple truth is about time for me to go. I think my wife's got breakfast ready. Just want to thank you guys for hanging out. You know, as always, like I said, leave some comments down there. Like, share this jank, subscribe to me. Let your friends know about this every Monday. Got a new topic. If you guys got any ideas for topics, you know, feel free to leave them down below. I'll check them out. And till Until next time, guys, don't spin your quarter anywhere else. Later.